New Orleans and Chicago have been connected one way or another for many years, going back at least to Louis Armstrong and early jazz. Chef Jimmy Bannos is among the more recent links for bringing genuine, award-winning Cajun cuisine to the Windy City. A third-generation restaurateur, Jimmy has passed on his passion for gumbo and other Cajun specialties to his own kids while collecting numerous honors over his more than 30-year career.
His Chicago restaurant, Heaven on 7, has long been the go-to spot for diners seeking genuine Cajun cuisine. So we are delighted to welcome Jimmy Bannos to the dish. Chef, good morning.
Good morning. I'm so delighted being here.
We're so happy to have you, and tell us what you got on the table for us.
Today, let's start with dessert, key lime icebox pie, Cajun coleslaw, my version of a hush puppy. It's a Bayou jalapeno cheddar corn blaster with honey jalapeno dressing.
Do I have one of those on my plate?
Yes, you do.
Can I have a second one?
And then shrimp po' boys, which is one of our most popular dishes. And then for my wife, I made a orzalaya, which at the restaurant we make a brown jambalaya with no tomatoes. And then years ago, she said, I like jambalaya with tomatoes, so I made that for her, and that's on the staple on the menu. And then my first Louisiana dish was chicken andouille sausage gumbo.
You know, food is family, and your family is so involved not only in this restaurant but in the Chicago food scene. But it also seems like a lot of Greek families have started so many restaurants in Chicago. What's the connection?
We didn't know any better. No, you know what? It's just, for my grandmother on my dad's side, she started, and then my grandfather got in the business. He was sold vegetables on a horse and wagon back in the mid-1900s. And then on my mom's side, her father, and then it just passed down. And then, myself, and I'm third generation, and my son Jimmy at the Purple Pig, he's fourth.
Who in your family influenced you the most, Jimmy?
I have to say my mom and dad. Both, because they both were active in the restaurant business and cooking, and just so I'm pretty lucky. So
we're talking about the New Orleans influence here, but if you go way back to when you started, it was a Jewish deli.
It was Jewish deli. We bought it in 1980, and then probably 83, I got Paul Prudhomme's cookbook and made a couple things from that, and actually people went crazy for it, and I cold called him, and he called me back within a day. And
you cold called him and just said, I want to talk to Paul Prudhomme, and he called you back.
He called me back the next day, and
wow.
I flew down there and just hung out in his kitchen. That just started my whole New Orleans
What did you
journey.
learn on that trip?
Just, the culture, just from that first time, the culture of New Orleans, the friendliness of New Orleans, the people were just so genuine, and they love to eat and they love to party.
So really one weekend changed the whole trajectory?
Changed my whole thing. Then came back and started doing gumbo once a week. Then they wanted it every day. Then I had my first Mardi Gras celebration. Then I came up with 10 different specials, and then they wanted those the next day, which is Ash Wednesday after Fat Tuesday. They wanted, where's those specials? So I said, come back tomorrow. So we put them on the menu, and that's how it started.
I had read somewhere that you regretted that you didn't cook in New Orleans, that you didn't open up a restaurant in New Orleans. Is that true?
Yeah, I always still think I might still do it, but like I told my son, you need to go to Italy. He loved Italian food. You need to go to Italy. I said, You need to go to New York, and because it's the best restaurant town in the country, it's.
I assume you knew from the moment you had a conscious thought you were going to go into the food business.
Oh, yeah. No, I started running around at my dad's places when I was 3-4 years old.
Yeah, peeling potatoes, doing everything.
Right, exactly. I started really working at 9.
At 9?
Washing dishes?
Washing dishes, peeling potatoes, onions. I'm Greek American, so we don't believe in labor laws,
You're related, you work.
Yeah, exactly.
And what about your son? Was it the same?
Same. He started, son and daughter, my Angelica. My daughter Angelica has her own makeup artist company, and but she works at the restaurant whenever she's not busy. But so I brought them both at 3-4 years old, and their pay was Toys R Us.
They could pick out what they wanted.
Yeah, exactly. What kid would want to go to Toys R Us?
That's your son, though. Michelin star chef and James Beard Award winner.
Yeah.
So that's, of course, you're proud of him. But is there a little piece of you that's like, wow, I wish I had done that?
No, because we all have. My dad did what he did, and then I got I did better than my father, and then now my son's doing better than myself, and it's just that next step.
Now your son has kids. How soon are they going to be working in the
I'll
kitchen?
tell you what, little Gianna's is 3 years old, Olivia, but Gianna takes to the kitchen already. It's unbelievable. It's like scary kind of. She wants to mix eggs. She loves the whole action.
It's so great. It's such great that the family tradition is so strong.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, we love it, and we try it, and that's why when people come in the restaurant, it's like a neighborhood restaurant in the middle of the Chicago Loop. We try to make them feel like family.
That's awesome. Nice. So if you could have this meal with anyone past or present, who would you have it with and why?
I mean, I would say the whole family, but my mom and dad, because I lost them too young, and they didn't really get to see they saw their grandkids, but they didn't really see them grow up to see what they became.
Well, I think they would be proud too.
Sure would.
Oh my goodness, I want to dig into this so badly, but I don't know how.
You got to read that first.
I do. Okay. Well, Chef Jimmy Bannos, thank you so much for being here. We really
Thank you for having me.
For more on Jimmy Bannos and this dish, head to our website at cbsthismorning.com. Can I do it now?
Now you can.